Hey, well, Laguna Woods Village, it's Monday morning. It's 10 o'clock. Welcome to Club Talk. Every Monday at 10 o'clock is Club Talk time. We have a great show for you all lined up today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 30 minutes. After the break, guess who's visiting with us? Santa Claus. That's right. He's getting ready for his very busy December, and one of his big stops will be in the village here, servicing all 18,000 of us. But I talked him into making a quick stop here in November, and it turned out he was coming this way early anyway to check out things and make sure Orange County is all taken care of. So we have Santa Claus here, and he'll tell us how he got to be Santa Claus, how he is Santa Claus, and what Santa Claus got in store for you. Were you naughty or nice? But first, we have Carol Shallon. Carol Shallon's with the Old Pros and has been for many, many years. An excellent dancer, director, actress. She's been in many, many, many productions. Choreographer, a little bit of singing. Carol does a little bit of everything, and she's wonderful. I'm sure you've seen her on the stage in many, many productions. Some of her dancing routines are absolutely great. And here she is, Carol Shallon. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, good morning.
And can I take just a moment to let Santa know?
Yes.
I have been so busy this year, I'm definitely a good girl. I haven't had time to do anything else.
If you slip him a little note, that might help later on. I'll detain him. Okay, so Carol's got her Santa wishes in. Carol, the Old Pros. Now, you were just recently president of the Old Pros, right?
Yes, I wrapped up my stint at the end of 2015. John Perrick is now the current Old Pros president.
Very good.
And that brings me to the fact that in our November meeting, we will be having elections for next year. Our November meeting is November 10th. It's 2 days after that other election. And this is the really important
Right.
one. This is the real. So
meaningful.
those of you who are interested in theater, we'd invite you to come over. It will be at Clubhouse 7, 4:30 in the afternoon, Tuesday, November 10th.
Now, the elections, I'm just curious, are they mainly nominated by other members, or can they nominate themselves, so to speak?
You can nominate from the floor. There's usually a slate that's offered, and we're always open to have other people who are willing to take on the duties. I was president for 2 years,
That's
which
right.
it's a bit of a stint. It's a certain amount of work, but we've got it to a point where there's a formula. We keep trying to improve on it and add new, fresh things. But number one, we love to have new faces in there. That's one of the things that I've focused on. In directing the plays, I'm always saying, let's find some people we haven't seen before and get them active.
Leads us up to the meetings. You know, folks, the Old Pros, they meet on the second Thursday at Clubhouse 7 at 4:30. That's the second Thursday of each month. Clubhouse 7, 4:30, the Old Pros. And just go on over there and join some of their meetings. You'll see how interesting they are. They usually have some production of some sort of entertainment along with the general meeting. And you get to know the folks, get to know their what they're doing. And there's a lot of areas, correct me if I'm wrong, besides being on the stage. There's back of the scenes, there's behind the camera, there's behind the director, there's assistant this, assistant that. Microphones, there's lots of things, right?
You are so on the spot with that. And we do have refreshments at those meetings too. So just an extra little incentive. Yes, we're always looking for fresh talent, and that talent can be in many different directions, as you spell it out. It's not all on the stage. There is so much work to be done. Publicity is an incredibly responsible job, because that's what gets the word out to the village as to what the show is and why you should come see it.
Very important. Boy, without that, you really don't have much. You gotta get the word out to the people.
Right, and make the publicity appealing to them. I mean, you can just slap something down there and say, hey, come see, we're doing our next show, but you want to have something like we did with Broadway Swings the Village, and we got the word out on that, thanks to you, a lot of that. It was wonderful. Sheila Bialka directed it.
Yes, she did. That was a good show.
people are saying it's the best show they ever
No
did.
kidding. You sold a lot of tickets, I know that. And there was even a letter in the Globe and word of mouth. A lot of folks said to me it was a great show. I wasn't in the show, but it was a great show.
Well,
A
we
lot of
missed
great
you.
music.
We really
Was
did
there in
miss
spirit.
you.
You
But
know-
I'll tell you one thing. When you have to hold the show, because the word of mouth has been so great that there are people lined up at the box office at the time that the show is supposed to start. Sunday matinees are incredibly notorious for the word of mouth has gotten out and everybody wants to see the last show.
Okay.
So we held the show for a good solid 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then we went on and
Very
had a
good.
fun.
That's show business. That's the way it goes. Wonderful. Now, as far as directing and yourself involved, you're directing This Curious Savage, right? Very good.
Yes.
And you took on Who's in Bed with the Butler a couple of productions ago.
Oh,
Was
yes, that
correct?
was the spring Old Pros production, and Sheila helped me out a bit on that one. It was my first full stage
Oh.
production, and it was a farce. What I found out that Sheila's strength is she comes up with these wonderful bits of business, as she likes to say, tarting it up. So I christened Sheila the Queen of Tarts.
Queen of Tarts.
She's on vacation right now, so this one is all in my lap.
Very good. So now you are the Queen of Tarts.
Well, I'm not as
Yeah, that's a big shoes to fill.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
You'll try a little bit. Little
but
tart
this
here and
is
there.
and this is not as big a farce, so it has to be. It's still a comedy. And it's a beautiful, charming comedy with a lot of laughs. I'm so happy because this one is a cast of 11. 6 women and 5 men. Usually we're stuck trying to find more parts for the women. This time we had a play that had more women than men in it, which is quite unusual.
Interesting. That would fit the demographics of what you
Laguna
have, what you
Woods,
have. Very good.
absolutely.
Good. So let's get into Curious Savage. How is it? The rehearsals coming along?
Oh, I am so happy. There are 11 people. Everyone is a distinct character, and that's what's so exciting about it. There's no confusion. You just see this one. The story is about Mrs. Savage. She was originally played on Broadway by Lillian Gish back in 1950.
Oh, wow.
Well, we've kept it in the period, and it's amazing how nothing has really changed. Here is a widow whose husband was quite wealthy. In that time, the estate was $10 million, which that's Trump change today.
Exactly, Trump change.
But her children would like to maintain the money, and she wants to give it away in a memorial fund. So they have her committed to an institution. And she's put in the institution where she meets these lovely different people. They all have a different point of view on life, and they are comfortable in the Cloisters, which is the name of the home. That is their home, and they welcome her. And then things start changing because the children have their goals, and Mrs. Savage is not as offbeat as they think she is.
She's a little crafty. She knows what's going on.
Yeah, she takes
Very good.
pretty good care, and that will be the fun to come and see exactly how she does that.
Sounds like a great little story. Is it 3 acts, 2 acts?
Well, it was set up as 3 acts, but we don't do 3-act shows very frequently anymore. I think Nathan Lane had mentioned that they were doing the front page, which was a 3-act,
Right.
but that's almost impossible today. So we did adjust it, and it is a 2-act with the intermission.
Very good, very good. That sounds like a great little play. Because a lot of folks that I've been talking to around the village haven't heard of it. So it's kind of not a hidden gem, but I'm sure in some circles they've heard of it. But
I'd
heard
heard
of it.
the name, and I had a totally different concept of it until I actually sat down and read the play and thought, it's so timely. And I don't know how many people here in Laguna Woods would be faced with that situation, but they're not in an institution, but many times people have to go into a home. And so this strikes you thinking
Wow.
about, gee, you know, what is the right thing to do?
Yeah, though some things are timeless, and yet situations around you may change, but the crux of the matter is still the same.
Exactly.
It stays the same throughout time. We see that in Shakespeare. A lot of the items he writes about could have been written last week, you know, and they would have made sense. I think you know what I mean. Wonderful. So where's the Old Pros besides the Savage coming up? Is there a Christmas production that you guys are
Well,
putting
we
together?
do have, the Recreation Department came to us because we had just done Celebrating the Romantics, which was a reading of the Romantic poets, Keats, Wordsworth, Shelley, and Byron. It was done at the Performing Arts Center, and we had this beautiful chamber orchestra, well, 4 pieces, string quartet, and it was just an elegant production. We had PowerPoint visuals that went along with the poetry reading, and of course the music was incredible. And so Recreation was so happy. They said, can you come up with something seasonal? So what we're looking at now, and is in the planning process, December 4th, Clubhouse 3, Performing Arts Center. It will be it's December 4th, and it'll be at 2 o'clock. And this time we will have a 4-piece brass band.
Wow.
And there will be stories and poems, even some recipes as to what was cooked, like Dickens,
There you
a
go.
Dickens
Good.
feast at Christmas time.
Cool.
And it'll
Wonderful.
just be delightful. And then we do have, coming up in the spring, an incredible dramatic production of The Lion in Winter.
That'll be dramatic and something to see. Excellent. Who's directing? Anyone picked for that yet?
Well, let's see. John Parrott came up with the concept, and he will be performing the part. If you're familiar with Lion in
Lion in
Winter,
Winter.
Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn.
Gosh,
And,
strong.
oh, incredible!
Yes.
And Anthony Hopkins was in the in the
Was
movie.
he? Wow. That goes back. Yeah. That's what, 60s? 50s? I can't remember exactly.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. That gets
It
into
all
some
blends
heavy
together.
stuff. Right, right. Yeah, the Old Pros, I've noticed in the last couple of productions, a lot of, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of the newer faces slowly mingling in.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some of the older faces are becoming
Well,
less
you know,
frequent.
people decide they've
move.
done this, and it's time to try something else.
I'm finding that quite often more than they just stopped or moved away. They just chose another path to use their leisure time. But yeah, time to get the word out for all the new folks who are sitting back and would love to be part of a stage group. The Old Pros is the one to try. Always world-class entertainment, professional in all aspects of theater, stage, and even radio. So,
Oh yes, the radio show. I think we will have that again in the summertime.
Excellent.
And that's a lot of fun.
Oh.
And for people who have a little difficulty in remembering, it's good because we do work off of scripts, although we know the script. And it's fun because we have the set of sound people that are creating
Right.
the footsteps and the horse clops. We've done Sunset Boulevard and Stagecoach, and My Friend Irma, a lot of those
Those
fun
were
shows.
great. And the Old Pros pioneered the radio
Yes.
presentation of the plays here. You've probably done a half a dozen, or not more. And they're in costume, and you have, like Carol said, the sound maker there, and it's just wonderful to watch how they make the radio shows of the days from the age of radio in the 40s. Well, Carol, any final words about the Old Pros or your dancing?
Oh,
You know,
well,
folks,
we did try to do that.
We
It
had a
didn't quite
one-minute
work
rendition
out.
of Carol doing a wonderful dance routine, and I taped it, and I made a boo-boo, and we couldn't get it into our equipment. So next time, we'll have Carol on there for her dance routine.
Right.
It was wonderful.
Well, what I loved about it, basically, it's a charming song called "Everything Old Is New Again,"
Yes.
which I think should be the model of Laguna
Laguna
Woods.
Woods, that's right. There you go. Well, we'll get it ready for that. that groundbreaking new motto. Thank you very much, Carol Old Pros, for joining us today.
My
this
pleasure,
Monday.
Tony,
All right.
always.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll be right back after this break, and we're going to talk to the man in red right here with his reindeer.
At South County Lexus, we really are different. We're California's exclusive Lexus Plus dealer. Lexus Plus is a new way of doing business. At a Lexus Plus dealer, you can expect an upfront, negotiation-free, hassle-free price right on the vehicle. The same price you'll find on our website, all the way through the transaction. At South County Lexus, we feel this is the way of the future, and this is the way the customer prefers to do business. South County Lexus, your exclusive Lexus Plus dealer. Different, just like you.
It's important for you to get your financial house in order. And so it breaks my heart sometimes when I see widows that come in with $100,000, $200,000 to their name, and yet their broker has lost $200,000 or $300,000 in the market when they shouldn't even have been in the market. The most satisfying part that I find in working with retirees is when they come in on their annual reviews and the market has had a bad turn, and we know that we can sit down and look at them and say, you haven't lost any money.
Like many families, I lost my mother to breast cancer far too early in life. In her honor, New Life Cancer Centers has recently introduced Sonata Plus, a profound way for treating advanced cancers, even late-stage pancreatic. There is no surgery, nausea, fatigue, hair loss, appetite loss, and no immune system damage. Just one simple injection per week for 4 weeks. It's that easy. I wish Sonata Plus had been here for my mom.
Good morning, back to Club Talk, part 2. We have the man in red is with us. I'm going to show you some photos here. Now here's something you don't see very often. This is Santa Claus having a sandwich before making his rounds, right? Here's Santa Claus in Hong Kong with a couple of beautiful needy children, I should say. Yes, and here's a Santa Claus on his reindeer. You get the idea? And here's Santa Claus in person, in the person of Mr. Roy Piazza. Hi, Roy.
Hi, Merry Christmas to you.
Ho, ho,
And
ho.
Merry Christmas to everybody watching. Okay.
Thank you very much for taking time to come down to visit us.
I'm glad you invited me down.
Well, I couldn't pass up that invitation. Boy, it's wonderful having you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
You know, we can't believe that it's already November, and
Yeah, I know.
your month is coming up very, very quickly. You're going to be busier than
I got
you
a
had.
busy schedule, honey.
I bet you do. So thanks again for coming in. So Santa Claus, for the professional Santa Claus of the village, Roy Piazza, for 24?
Yeah, 25 years.
25 years. And tell us a little bit about Santa. Where did Santa come from originally? New York, I hear?
I'm from New York.
Got that one.
Gloversville, New York was about 35 miles from Albany, New York. Nobody's ever heard of Gloversville, but they heard of
Yes.
Albany. And my father was a Santa Claus, and my brother was a Santa Claus.
Huh.
And I used to borrow his suit so I could go play Santa Claus. So when I came down here, I said, just for the heck of it, let me go and see if I can get a job as a Santa Claus. And sure enough, they hired me.
Excellent.
And I've been doing it ever since.
So you're around the Southland here, mainly?
Yeah,
Winter
I've
Woods?
been at every mall down here.
Wow, excellent. And as far as getting ready for the big December, do you grow your beard early or?
Well, first of all, right after Christmas, I shave it off. And then about May, I start growing it back.
Okay. Well, let's get to the dirty tricks then. You're at a mall,
Yeah.
and you get the kids are all lined up, Because you're doing it for the kids, right?
Right, and I love them.
Have they ever actually pulled on you?
Yes, I have.
No kidding. What happened?
Well, one of them says, "You're not Santa Claus." He pulled my beard and ran. And apparently his parents talked to him. They came back and he says, "Santa, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." So I said, "Okay, you're right." But I had one little boy. He wanted to see. I was at his house, and he says, "Santa Claus," he says, "can I see we'll go up a chimney?" Well, I said, you know, that's magic, and beside that, you get all dirty going up there. But,
Exactly, right. You do have to think quickly, don't you?
yeah, they check you. They check you all the time.
You know, kids do say the darndest things, as we've all heard. Has there been any real stumpers? Have you ever been asked something that was really
Well,
like, weird? Or
Well, that's kind of a sad story. Well, sad, happy. A little girl came up to me and said, "Santa," she says, "I don't want anything for Christmas." She says, "Would you just bring my mother something nice?"
Oh,
And I thought I was going to cry.
wow! I bet. Oh, you probably get lots of those stories.
Oh yeah, you stories I don't even want to talk about, but you hear a lot of stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the usual stint at a mall? Is it
Well,
a couple of weeks?
Well,
Yeah. How long does a Santa spend at a mall?
6 weeks.
6
6
weeks.
weeks,
6
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Excellent. And how far has your further stint been?
Well, the furthest one is Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. That's right. Tell us
And I
about.
loved Hong Kong.
Wow, that must
the
have been-
people were so nice. The kids were smart and well behaved.
So, did you find they treated Santa a little different in Hong Kong versus Southern California?
Well, no. Only thing I can say, these little kids have there's machines there
Right.
working on them, and they were all smart. They all talk English, okay, and the parents didn't talk too good, but the kids were very smart. But of course, you know that was owned by the British, which made it.
Right.
And even the guards, you know how strict the guards are out there.
Can imagine.
Well, I come through there and would have passed. Oh, and they got a big smile. They say, "Santa Claus is here." All the way down, all the rows of guards were laughing, and I said, "Geez, I must have did something good here."
Wow. So you got the royal treatment.
Oh,
and,
yes,
taken to
yes.
sightseeing locations, and
Yeah, and
They took
and
care of
they
you.
take me out to places I've never been, and tourists wouldn't even go.
huh?
You know. They
Now
took me
I'm
to
just
shows.
curious. Were there previous Santas in Hong Kong, or
Oh,
were
yeah.
you like the first?
Oh, yes.
There was previous.
They do go to different countries, like here in Britain, and because you know, Chinese don't grow beards.
Oh.
You realize that?
No,
I
I
never
never
seen
thought of
one.
it.
Maybe they do, but I never seen one. So they have to go out of the country to get one.
Gotcha.
And every year they go to a different country.
You know, folks, there's always a need for a Santa Claus, and if you have a party coming up or an event, or you've heard of Santa, someone asking for Santa Claus, give Roy a call. You know, he loves doing Santa Claus and has done
yeah.
it for many, many years. And you can catch him at 855-0338, 855-0338, if you're interested in a wonderful Santa Claus. So the kids, what? Go ahead.
The email.
Yes, and the email, right. Not just the phone number, my gosh. I'm getting old. I'm so excited Santa's here. You can also get a hold of Roy at Roy Piazza, that's Piazza, Roy Piazza, Santa, @gmail.com. And you can get him that way, or the phone number, 855-0338. And see if you have something you need Santa for. He'd love to come out and take care of you and the kids, because that's what it's all about. It's the kids. And it must really be heartwarming, because the sad stories, I know the kids are so innocent, they just speak it out, and it's got to affect you, and the tough stories, and the good stories. And, you know, the kids, it's got to be just wonderful.
Yeah, and you got to know what toys the kids will want. 'Cause
How do you get out of promising? You don't want to promise, right?
No, I'll think about it. No,
Right.
you never promise them anything,
Gotcha.
because they remember from year to year. You promised me and I didn't get it, you know.
Are those, you know, I noticed in your stack of goodies you gave me, I misplaced it right now, the certificate for the real bearded Santa Clauses. Is there a routine they teach you, like never promise and things, do's and don'ts? Do you learn that along the way somewhere?
Some I don't do.
Yeah,
Well,
gotcha.
you gotta be careful how you handle the kids. You know, your hands has got to be away from the kids all the time.
True, nowadays, yes,
You know,
that's very
that's
important.
one thing they teach you. But you got to show the kids love, and that's easy for me. I love
Yeah,
it.
do you ever get-
Every time I see a kid, I smile.
Do you ever get touched by one particular child? You know, it just kind of hits you special at this
Well, I
case.
had one start hugging me, and the mother went to get him. He wouldn't go.
Wow, there you go. Oh, it's such a wonderful icon. And all I can say, and everyone here at Channel 6, thank you very much for
Okay.
being Santa.
Well, thank you very much.
And thanks for coming on down. We really appreciate it. And before we conclude and get to the end with the Santa bit, we want to say happy Thanksgiving, of course, from everyone here at Club Talk, myself, and the whole staff at TV6. Have and make yourself a very, very great Thanksgiving and invite a stranger over. And Santa, any final words you have for this season?
Yes, I want all the kids to be good because I'm checking on everybody.
Oh boy, we've heard that before.
And girls. And I do want to say happy Christmas to all the people,
Thank you.
old, young, and in between.
Very good. Okay, Santa. All right, folks, that'll do it for this month's Club Talk. Watch us. We're on every Monday at 10 o'clock. Our December show, great show. Mark it down on your calendars. We have Joey Sims from the Comedy Club will be here, and Miss Jacqueline Grossman, author, who penned a wonderful book called Chased by Demons. And she'll be here to tell us all about the book and about herself. So we'll see you next week right here on Club Talk, 10 o'clock on Mondays. Otherwise, stay happy, healthy, and join the club. See you. Bye.